Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you the final day, day 12 of 12 Days of Anime. And initially on this last day, I was gonna go ahead and I was gonna talk a little JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, like specifically Part 5 Golden Wind, but I decided against it in favor of talking about something of telling you guys a little story, like specifically something that's been going on behind the scenes that I've mentioned here that I've mentioned here and there, but I've never really dive into a whole lot or deep into it, which is that like I'd say for about pretty much year or two now, I guess you could say. I've been on I've been on a little bit of a from revisiting and rewatching journey of the One Piece anime, and it hasn't just been me alone. I've been going through I've been going through this rewatch or revisit of the One Piece anime with pretty much a high school buddy of mine. His name is Palmer, and it's pretty much his pretty much first time. And the thing is with this rewatch, it's pretty much his first time from viewing One Piece. It's basically been it's been a really great experience in order to really just kind of revisit this series with him as basically as someone who's basically rewatched the anime so much already. On top of the fact of on top of the fact of me just kind of but just kind of seeing his first experience of watching this series has been really interesting, and there's been so and even though we're still pretty much we're still a little early into it, we're still we're still fairly early into it. It's just been a real joy in order to see his reactions, and honestly, there have been just so many times where I've had to bite my tongue or bite my cheek just from me not just from me not just from so I don't spoil anything, because let's just say that there have been a lot of times where Palmer has made a lot of where in the middle of watching this and in the middle of rewatching One Piece, um there's been so many times where he's made really great educated guesses, so it's been like I have to do that just so I don't spoil it for him. So it's yeah, it's just been kind of it just in that experience alone, it's been a really fun time. Like just kind of revisiting it with Palmer, and just, again just seeing his first time experiencing this show has been a joy in itself. Honestly, when Luffy first introduced, I'll say this right now, one thing about One Piece for sure, when we watched that very first episode, when Palmer was first introduced to Luffy as the main character, he was like, "I'm sold." It didn't even take he didn't even need until episode 5 in order to get into Luffy. It was just that one first episode where he's like, I'm sold on Luffy as the main character, which I think in a certain way is also a testament to in order to Oda's writing. He can make us invested in a main character from the very first episode. Um, also, one other thing I want to mention is that one other thing that definitely to note is that because because Palmer and is because every single time I invite Palmer over in order to watch One Piece with me, we can only the thing is we because we of course have our own lives, of course, we pretty much can pretty much only knock out so many episodes per viewing, pretty much 4 or 5 episodes per viewing, I think is what we're able to do. And um and and because of that, obviously, like I said, we've been going at a slower pace because of that. We've only been able to watch 4 or 5 episodes each time because of that. But honestly, I even though you think only watching so few episodes per per viewing would be a little frustrating. For me particularly, it's really allowed me to in order to appreciate the story and a lot of the nuances of the and a lot of the nuances that pretty much Oda has crafted has crafted within the story of One Piece in itself, because that honestly I probably wouldn't have been able to do if I was able to find the time and completely like binge watch like pretty much 10 episodes per viewing or something like that. Like it's weird to say, but being limited to only watching like pretty much 4 or 5 episodes with pretty much Palmer per viewing, it's allowed me to, in order to gain a lot more of an appreciation, for the series looking back on it now. Um, and but yeah, and honestly, and okay, another thing too. I think to make mention of with this rewatch is that, I mean, eventually it's going to get to a point. I think we're going to have to switch over to the subtitled version. But honestly, as of right now, me and him are watching the dub of One Piece, and I'm not gonna lie, I think the dub of One Piece is kind of really underappreciated. Like I'm not gonna say it's like perfect or anything, but I really feel that the dub of One Piece has a lot more merit to it than from what most people give it. I mean, I know there are a lot of people out there who are like pretty much who are sub purists who are gonna say the dub of One Piece sucks. Always watch the sub, but honestly, I can really appreciate the effort that Funimation has put into the dub. Now, and obviously, and obviously, the only thing we obviously question is if any of the voice actors are still going to remain alive long enough in order to finish the series. But and hopefully without a whole thing about it being the series being 80% done, hopefully it gives me a little more hope for that. But yeah, but overall, I do think the dub has a little bit more has a little bit more like goose has a little bit more like merit to its existence than what people give it credit for. Um, and and honestly, like he really and honestly just and honestly, when it comes to Palmer and the dub, like when I first introduced Palmer, like the one thing the only thing I really needed to sell Palmer on, honestly, with the dub is the fact that pretty much 70% of the voice cast of the dub of one of the main characters of the Straw Hats were basically all were all characters who were voiced by characters who have had voice roles in Dragon Ball Z. Like that pretty much was the other big thing. I think that pretty much sold Palmer on One Piece is the fact that he was pretty much he's a huge avid like Dragon Ball fan. So and just me telling him that it was enough to sell him on One Piece. I think too is that it does whether you like it or not, it does, you can definitely tell there's a lot of inspiration from that was taken from Dragon Ball with One Piece. I think Oda even said himself that Dragon Ball was a heavy influence. But I do feel that One Piece, it honestly takes a lot of what the OG Dragon Balls like world building did, and it expands on it even further. That's another thing I think I've come to appreciate as well. Um, but and overall, just yeah, honestly, just watching this with my friend, just watching this with my friend and taking it at a much slower pace. It's just been a really a really great experience up to this a really great experience up to this point. And like as of right now, we're basically on the cusp of the we're on the cusp of the of the Skypiea arc right now. And I basically told him that pretty much after episode 200 is where the series really starts to take a really heavy like turn. And so yeah, I'm base so yeah, he's I kind of hyped him up a little on that. But yeah, but overall it's just been a really fun time. And we're gonna be watching. And I'm just excited in order to see. Just excited for where this particular journey is going to take me and him. I have a bit of an idea as to what I'm gonna tell him when we finally get to the like time skip. But yeah, I'm still gonna only deal with that when it comes. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I have for the the last day of my 12 days of anime. Just go ahead as per usual, like, comment, subscribe, and just just tell me if you guys would basically like to see me do this again. Like I said before, when I first introduced I was going to do this, this was my first time doing this, so it's like I I have I just kind of went with the flow with this. I didn't really have any plan. I didn't have any. I just kind of picked. I just picked things at a random. But I kind of went with the flow with this one, unlike I normally do, where I have a script. Like I was majority. This was just like a lot. Every single video I made with this was just purely raw me. So it's like, just tell me what do you guys think? Would you like to see me do this again? And just yeah, I really want your feedback, especially now that the 12 days of anime are. This is my last day for the 12 days of anime, but. Yeah, that's all I've got, guys. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Mr. Crunchyroll. Death Night of Anime, signing off with the final day of the 12 days of anime. Later, guys.